Fitness for me started when I was really young. I remember I was maybe 13 years old. I was at a friend of mine's house. I remember being in his room and I saw a weight and I was skinny. I was really skinny. But I wasn't insecure or anything about my size, but I was curious. And I remember I picked up a barbell in my friend's room, and it was from a Wilson company. I think you see them at Walmart now. And it was, metal. The bar was metal, and the weights were cement wrapped in plastic. Very old school, barbell. And I remember it was like 10 pounds. Like, it was nothing. And I remember trying to lift 10 pounds. And it was so heavy. I mean, I felt intimidated. I was the only one in the room, and I felt really intimidated. So I remember, and I just put it down, and I kind of just left fitness alone at that point. As I got older and got into my teens, I started noticing that, girls and stuff like that. And I noticed that a lot of my friends in high school were playing football, playing a lot of sports. And although I was very athletic and very fast and aggressive, I was very lightweight. And so I began building these insecurities because I have a very big head. And I always noticed that, I'm so skinny and I never felt like, my body was as big as my head. And so it stemmed from an insecurity to get into working out, and it blossomed into kind of like a mini addiction where I just thoroughly enjoyed seeing my body grow and seeing why I want to do fitness. I would say, another thing that I realized was that working out was like everything else in life, right? Everything has certain steps. A formula, it has a procedure. In working out, and lifting weights and in fitness, there's a form, a technique that you have to develop. And a lot of it had to do with consistency and development, discipline, doing it continuously over time. But one of the interesting things about fitness that a lot of people know, but they don't really take into consideration, is the diet aspect of it. I would say probably about 10, 12 years ago, I had an interest in wanting to potentially compete in fitness. Now, I didn't actually end up competing, but I put in the work as if I was leading up to that point. And I had noticed that one of the key ways for me to stay in shape aesthetically was my diet needed to be on par. And I was calorie counting, and I was carb cycling, counting my protein intake, my carbohydrate intake, the amount of water I was drinking, balancing out my meals 3, 4, 5 times a day. I didn't want to get too big, but I wanted to maintain my muscle. And at that point is when I realized that fitness most certainly is 100% effort, both in the workout and in the diet, but how they work together, it's most certainly 80% diet, 20% working out. Overall, fitness, what it did for me after a while, after I had hit all of my physical goals, as I became an older adult and in my 20s, going through divorce and career changes and going into debt, losing money, and relationships were falling apart, my mental state began to change. And I noticed that I could not deal with the world around me very well. And the one thing that I knew, among other things that helped me during depression and anxiety, was my anger. And that's where the gym came into play. Ultimately, to this day, fitness has saved me mentally more than anything. My body and the way it looks and the way it feels is a result of the pain that I've dealt with over the years. And if I didn't have the gym, I don't know where I'd be right now. I'd be a completely different person. It changed my life. Throughout the day, fitness starts with the moment you wake up in the morning. One of the first things that I do when I get out of bed is I grab my water. I drink water. I get a little bit of H2O in me to hit my intestines, to help with digestion in the morning. I don't eat anything, really. I have coffee. Every now and then I may have a protein shake, but for the most part, I fast in the morning. I notice that, when I activate my intestines in the morning, for all my men out there, I handle my 3 S's. I shit, shower, and shave. That's just what I do. And part of the reason is the water. It activates my intestines. Throughout the day, I don't really do any more of the 4, 5, 6 times eating. I calorie load. I eat twice pretty much every day. I get in about 2,400 to 2,500 calories a day at the most in comparison to when I was training. A few years ago, it was, 5,000 calories a day. I pretty much just, I fast from about 10 o'clock at night to about 12 or 1 o'clock the next day, roughly. And after that, after I get out of work, I make sure I drink I drink my water throughout the day. I try to get in a half to a full gallon a day. And again, once work is done, I go straight to the gym and I get it in. Every now and then I'll have my pre-workout to kind of start my day. I take it easy on the pre-workout. I am getting a little bit older. It's a great activator. But that's really it. My daily routine is very straightforward, but it's consistent. It is about 6 times a day, 5 or 6 times a day. That's what I do.